Along Came Coco by Eva Byrne. Fashion changes, but style endures. Coco Chanel. In a time when children were seen and not heard, along came Coco, a little French girl with an eye for style, a talent for sewing, and a very, very big imagination. Coco Chanel was born in France in 1883. Coco's early days were spent not in the chic city of Paris, but in a strict convent tucked away in the French countryside. Life in a French orphanage was never going to be a fashionable affair, but Coco always tried her best to be a little different. In her dreams, she imagined a new way of doing things. Coco loved to watch the nuns as they seemed to glide about the convent in their black and white habits, looking so dramatic and mysterious. She wanted to be dramatic and mysterious, too. It was in the convent where Coco learned the sewing skills that would later make her famous. But in the meantime, she created charming little dolls for her friends out of scraps of leftover material. She entertained herself with extravagant stories and fabulous dreams for her future. Coco was not so fabulous at following the rules, which was a pity, because nuns love rules. One of the rules of the time was that hair must be brushed with 100 strokes per day. All the curly heads, the straight as a pinheads, and the wavy and frizzy heads brushed until their arms were sore. What a waste of a girl's time, thought Coco. She imagined, one day I will cut my hair so short I will barely need to brush it at all. No more daydreaming, young mademoiselle. Rules are rules. Keep brushing. As a treat, Coco was allowed to visit her grandparents in Moulins. Together with her best friend, Aunt Adrienne, she watched the elegant women stroll by without a care in the world. She wanted to be just like them. She imagined a life far away from the discipline of the convent. While visiting in Varennes, Coco watched as her Aunt Louise transformed store-bought hats into eye-catching creations using ribbons, feathers, and flowers. Coco had just caught a glimpse into her future. She knew she could make hats too. So as soon as she was old enough, Coco packed her sewing kit and waved goodbye to the convent. Au revoir, darlings. With the help of a dear friend, Coco opened a millinery shop in Paris. Coco's hats were different from the large, floppy hats decorated with birds' nests and butterflies that women were used to. Coco's hats were practical and easy to wear. Finally, Coco was free to be herself. She took inspiration from all she saw around her. Inspired by the stripy tops of the local fishermen, she sewed her own version. Coco opened another shop in the resort town of Deauville. The summer of 1914 was a hot one, so when Coco noticed the light, loose trousers worn by messenger boys, she had an idea. She imagined that girls should be comfortable in the heat too, and voila! A very stylish and modest swimsuit appeared on the beach. Not everyone was impressed, but Coco didn't mind. She created clothes as she needed them. She was one of the first designers who knew exactly what women wanted. Soon, Aunt Adrienne and her friends were lining up to wear Coco's latest creations. Coco's style was so fresh and exciting. In Coco's hands, a man's sporty sweater became a chic lady's cardigan. Coco even added pockets, freeing women's hands, a first for women's clothing. Ooh la la! Coco's shop in Paris was a success. It was so successful that she bought the whole building at 31 Rue Cambon and turned it into one of the most fashionable addresses in Paris. She sold dresses and jewelry, as well as her hats. Life had certainly changed since the convent. When Coco wasn't working, she went to the ballet and the theater with friends. One afternoon, she was getting ready for the opera when disaster struck. A gas lamp exploded in her dressing room, destroying her pink dress and burning her hair. She was covered in soot, and the smell of burned hair was awful. But there was no way Coco was going to miss the opera. Grabbing scissors, Coco cut her hair and asked her maid to finish the job. Her new, short hair sprang out all at once from around her face. different and delightful. Now that Coco had fixed her hair, she needed to get dressed. But another rule of the time was that women should wear corsets. C'est terrible. Imagine a very wide belt tied around your waist and laced tightly at the back. Now add some whalebones at the front and sides just to make sure it's as stiff as it can possibly get. Don't let the silk-covered buttons and lace ribbons fool you. There was nothing pretty about wearing a corset. And don't worry about breathing. That's what smelling salts are for. As for fainting, well, there are fainting couches for that. So Coco cut and sewed something never seen before and broke another rule, an evening dress with no corset. And with every stitch, Coco changed the way women dressed forever. Breathtaking in its simplicity, dramatic in its effects, a little black dress was born. Coco dreamed that all women should have a black dress. That evening at the opera, Coco was the belle of the ball. C'est chic, c'est magnifique, c'est fantastique. As for corsets, smelling salts, and fainting couches, well, they became so last season, darling. C'est Coco! Has there ever been a little French girl with such a big imagination who has made breaking the rules look so good? About Coco Chanel. Gabrielle Coco Chanel was born on August 19, 1883 in France. At age 12, she was sent to a convent that ran an orphanage for girls, and it was there that she learned to sew. After finishing school, she became a seamstress, a hat maker, and later, one of the most famous fashion designers the world has ever seen. Some of her innovations include dresses without corsets, the jersey dress, the nautical-inspired striped shirt, women's loose trousers, handbags with straps, cardigan sweaters with pockets, and the perfume Chanel No. 5. Chanel's designs were simple and chic and allowed women a newfound comfort and liberation. They could accomplish their daily tasks without their clothes getting in the way and without sacrificing style. Chanel died on January 10, 1971 in Paris.